She was the First Lady from Flushing. Barbara Bush passed away last night on her own terms at the age of 92. A woman beloved by the country regardless of politics, she was someone we were all familiar with and someone we all felt we knew, from her white hair to her signature pearls. Her candor and wit was legendary, as was her sometimes stern disposition. In fact, to her family she was jokingly known as the Enforcer for her firm but loving guidance. When we think of Mrs. Bush, the backdrop is probably Texas, Kennebunkport, or of course the White House. But what most people don't know is that Barbara Bush was born at Booth Memorial Hospital right here in Flushing, Queens, and was later raised in Rye, New York, an affluent community just north of New York City. She attended Rye Country Day School, took lessons at Miss Covington's dancing school, and this local girl even watched the Hindenburg as it flew from Frankfurt, Germany to Lakehurst, New Jersey. She was just 16 in 1945 at a Christmas dance at the Brownsville Club in Greenwich, Connecticut, when the former Barbara Pierce met young George Bush, a senior at Phillips Academy in Andover. It was, by all accounts, love at first sight. At the dance, they talked as Glenn Miller played, and the following night, George Bush, then known as Poppy, walked right into Rye's Appowamus Club, got right in on Barbara's dance partner, and asked her for a date. The very next day, that happened. Barbara watched as her brother squared off with Poppy in an informal basketball game with the entire Pierce family in tow. They returned to their respective schools after that day game, but he rode her daily while she knitted him Argyle socks. And when they did see each other, they rode bikes, played tennis, and enjoyed time on the beach. She later recalled a special night when they walked out on the rocks and watched the moon come up. Just a year and a half later, they were secretly engaged. The First Lady often said that George Bush was the first and only man she ever kissed. And when Poppy went off to war as a Navy bomber pilot, they continued their long-distance relationship with a constant stream of love letters. The two married in Rye on January 6, 1945, at the First Presbyterian Church, while George was on leave from his deployment. At 73 years, George and his beloved Barbara hold the record as the longest married presidential couple. And during this nearly three-quarters of a century marriage, Barbara Bush became a matriarch in the truest sense of the word, the mother of 6, the grandmother of 17, and the great-grandmother of 7. Her son, President George W. Bush, said, "Laura, Barbara, Jenna, and I are sad, but our souls are settled because we know hers was. Mom kept us on our toes and kept us laughing until the end. I'm a lucky man that Barbara Bush was my mother. Our family will miss her dearly, and we thank you all for your prayers and good wishes." Jeb Bush, the former governor of Florida, said, "I'm exceptionally privileged to be the son of George Bush and the exceptionally gracious, gregarious, fun, funny, loving, tough, smart, graceful woman who was the force of nature known as Barbara Bush." The President and Melania Trump released a statement praising the former First Lady as, quote, "an advocate of the American family." The President went on to say that he and his wife joined the nation in celebrating the life of Barbara Bush. President Barack and Michelle Obama issued a statement saying, in part, "We'll always be grateful to Mrs. Bush for the generosity she showed to us throughout our time in the White House, but we're even more grateful for the way she lived her life as a testament to the fact that public service is an important and noble calling, as an example of the humility and decency that reflects the very best of the American spirit." And President Bill and Secretary Hillary Clinton wrote, "Barbara Bush was a remarkable woman. She had grit and grace, brains and beauty. She was fierce and feisty in support of her family and friends, her country and her causes. She showed us what an honest, vibrant, full life looks like. Hillary and I mourn her passing and bless her memory." President Clinton went on to add, "I'll always treasure my summer visits to Kennebunkport. Barbara joked that George and I spent so much time together, I had become almost a member of the family, the black sheep that had gone astray." Former First Lady Barbara Bush will lie in repose in Houston from noon on Friday until midnight so that members of the public can pay their respects. According to sources, around 1,500 people are expected to be invited to Saturday's funeral service, including several former presidents and first ladies. A private funeral will then follow Saturday at St. Martin's Episcopal Church. She will be buried on the grounds of the George H.W. Bush Presidential Library at Texas A&M University, where the Bush's 3-year-old daughter, Robin, who died in 1953, is also buried. Our condolences to the entire Bush family.